Good afternoon. My name is Ces Butner, and I have the honor to serve as this year's president of Rotary Club of Oakland. Founded in 1908, the Rotary Club of Oakland is the third oldest Rotary Club of some 35,000 Rotary clubs throughout the world. We are a community of 300 men and women from all walks of Oakland's civic, commercial, and community life, committed to the Rotary motto of service above self. I'd like to welcome you to our 5,318th meeting of the club meeting. For over 111 years, we have welcomed Rotarians and guests from around the world to our club meetings. We continue to do so virtually, so if you're a visiting Rotarian or if you're a guest of a Rotarian, please let us know by typing your name and the name of your club into the chat box located at the center bottom of your screen. By doing so, we will be able to recognize you later in this meeting. Also, we recommend that all participants view this Zoom meeting by clicking the speaker view button located in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And if you have comments throughout the meeting or questions of the speaker, use the chat button at the bottom of the screen for that as well. And now for our thought for the day, Rotarian Amani Soliman. Amani.
Someone has, yes. Thank you, President Ces, and hello to everyone. I would like to take this opportunity, as this is our last meeting before Thanksgiving, to share with you a thought that I have, which is that I did not grow up celebrating Thanksgiving, but I have to tell you that it is a very special celebration. It falls across people of every faith and every belief or non-belief, people from all walks of life, from every corner of this country. And given what we have all been through this year and the fact that we are here and the fact that we are able to offer service before self, we have a lot to be thankful for. My thought for the day is that I wish this celebration was an international one, not just an American one. I think every country, every person in the world has a lot to be thankful for. And I'd like to wish you all on this occasion a very good and happy Thanksgiving. And please stick to the rules and keep it limited. And I hope that everyone will come out of this situation that we're in safe and sound, and we meet again for the next Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much for that lovely thought. Because we want to remain grounded and focused, we always say our vision, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Let's see, where am I? At last week's meeting, we enjoyed hearing from the executive director of the Port of Oakland, Danny Wan. And while his remarks were interesting and intriguing, we simply didn't have enough time left in the meeting for him to answer all the questions you had. So we've done two things. First of all, the questions that were entered into the chat room last week, we have submitted to Danny. And second, I will have Danny back to answer any additional questions you may have, and you can have a second bite at him, so to speak. I'll get those questions back from him soon, and I'll probably schedule him for one of the upcoming meetings so we can find out what the port had to do. Additionally, this past week, we also engaged in service above self to our first 5 project of delivering hygiene kits to our homeless community. Show slides. With our COVID protocols in place, several Rotarians participated in packing and delivering the hygiene kits on this past Saturday, Monday, and Thursday. I'd like to thank all those who participated, and the entire club owes you a round of applause for your service. Yours truly joined the crew on Monday, and the experience reaffirmed our need to emphasize the homeless this year. While the experience was touching, heart-wrenching, gratifying, eye-opening, sobering, we also learned some things that will be instrumental in forming our long-term homeless project objective that past President Peter Ces and our Housing Insecurity Task Force is working on. The task force is doing a lot of work, and we will have some very interesting updates at an upcoming meeting. Finally, I know that I joined the rest of the volunteers in thanking our partner, the Salvation Army, for helping us make all this possible. Rotary number 3, the #1 service organization in Oakland, showing what it means to make a difference in the community by performing service above self. So hands off, hands together for all the participants in the hygiene kit distribution that we had this past week. Today, we continue our Rotary Foundation Month emphasis with co-chairs Joe and Leanne. And to add a little fun, we'll have a magical speaker that I'm sure you'll enjoy. So sit back and enjoy another in our great Civic Thursday meetings where you can catch a great speaker, get involved with the Rotary where service above self exists. Now, past District Governor Ed Jellin, do we have any visiting Rotarians or guests?
Well, President Ces, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is my paper here is blank. Nobody checked in, but I would like to take a chance to say hello to number 99, Iris Brody Lopez, who did check in today. Great to have Iris here with us, and I'm glad she's here.
All right, thank you. And Iris, hello there from Arizona. I guess you're still in Arizona then. Thank you for coming back and visiting us. Community Service Chair David Kittner has an announcement concerning our yearly Feed the Hunger Day. David.
Okay, super. Thank you, President Ces. What I want to do is just talk about Feed the Hungry very briefly for those of you who don't know what it is. To explain it to you, and for those who do, just to give you a notice of what's coming up. So in 2 weeks, we're doing our annual Feed the Hungry, and Feed the Hungry was where the Rotary Club raises money for food insecurity in our local community. We've been doing it for over 30 years, and we've raised over $300,000. If you were at the meeting in 2 weeks, because next week is Thanksgiving, so December 3rd, if you're at the meeting, you'll have an opportunity to donate. If you are not going to be there, please reach out to me, and you want to donate, please reach out to me or Pat Williams, and we will take your name down and ring your bell when we conduct the Feed the Hungry food drive. So that's what we're going to be doing in 2 weeks, and so that you know who we're raising this money for. We're raising this money for people in our local community, and we're raising it, and the groups that we give to are the Alameda County Food Bank, Bay Area Meals on Wheels, First Presbyterian Church of Oakland, Harbor House, Oakland Catholic Worker Food Program, Operation Dignity, the Prescott Joseph Center, St. Mary's Center, and St. Vincent de Paul. So those are all local groups. This money goes directly into our community, and hopefully in 2 weeks, you'll have some generosity, and that we can come close to meeting our what we raised last year, which was $15,000. Thank you, Ces.
Very good. Thank you so much for that introduction of the Feed the Hungry Day, where this Oakland Rotary number 3 continues to give service throughout this community as always. I think we'll go to past President Linda Bosnecker. You have a reintroduction, I understand, to make.
I do, President Ces and fellow Rotarians. I am honored to reintroduce an amazing Rotarian who has a 30-year history with Rotary, with multiple clubs across the US. This Rotarian has exemplified service above self throughout their life, both personally and professionally. Born in 1945 in the small town of Eastchester in Westchester County, New York, on acres of land with room to roam. Describing childhood as idyllic, our Rotarian's father was an insurance agent who hailed from Louisiana, and mother was a fiercely independent woman who was an educator from New York and transitioned to a stay-at-home mom. Exploring the hills and valleys of Westchester County with the family dog Blackie and brother Paul was a precursor to this Rotarian's penchant for travel throughout their life. After finishing college at Florida State University, that's in Tallahassee if you don't know, with a bachelor's degree in education, our Rotarian jumped in the car and headed for California to be near family that had relocated to the West Coast. Snagging a first position with the Armed Services YMCA in San Diego, which focused on serving military families, laid the groundwork for this Rotarian's life's career path. Transferring to Key West, Florida for 1 year to manage a USO club at an underwater demolition training school before moving to Hawaii, which became home for 30 years. It was here that this Rotarian became active with the Rotary Club of Honolulu, where one accomplishment was initiating the new member dinner, which eventually found its way to Oakland #3. A departure from norms found this Rotarian married for a short period of time and as a sales executive for Xerox Corporation. Neither lasted, so when the position as ED of the Armed Services YMCA became available, that was the position that lured our Rotarian back into service for the next 10 years. Returning to Northern California to spend time with friends and to travel, this Rotarian, by the way, has traveled extensively: Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, Guam, Europe, New Zealand, Australia, and Russia, to name just a few. However, when a position became available at the USS Potomac, our Rotarian became the executive director there, where she spent the last 12 years of her working life. Upon retiring, she volunteers for Alameda Food Bank, Alameda Reads, promotes reading to youngsters, and is a certified ESL teacher. By now, and you saw the slide, I'm sure you have figured out that I'm talking about Marty Burchell, who has lived an incredible life of service, both professionally and personally. President Ces, I'd like to be the first to ring the bell in honor of the service Marty has given to Rotary and to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Past President Linda Bosnick. Heard the claps and a warm welcome to Marty coming back to see us. Marty, do you have anything to say?
Only that I'm absolutely delighted to have been a Rotarian all this time and to know the people in Rotary, because they are without a doubt the best.
Thank you so much. You are truly a Rotary inspiration. Now, did we have Sonia Malagna on? Is she here yet, or did she make it on today? She's not here, Sandeepa? All right, then we'll go right on. Our chairs of the Rotary Foundation, Leanne Alameda and Joe Garaka, I think you have the stage.
Great. Thank you very much, President Ces. Hi, everyone. I am Leanne, and I'm a member of the Rotary Foundation Committee. And right now, we are raising funds for the Rotary Foundation, which transforms your gifts into service projects that make lives better, both close to home and around the world. Every dollar that you donate to the Rotary Foundation comes back to the Oakland Rotary World Community Service Committee, so they can provide grants in these program areas, such as education, fighting disease, providing clean water, and the newest focus area, which is to protect our environment. And in just the past 20 years, the Oakland Rotary, through the Rotary Foundation, has given 39 global grants in 24 countries, totaling over $1,450,000. So just imagine what we could do if everyone came together to make a gift. And this year we have an amazing challenge from President Ces Butner. If every member of our club donates whatever you can to the Rotary Foundation, and we can reach 100% participation by December 31st, President Ces will give $50,000 to the Rotary Foundation. And this is a really special and unique opportunity, and I hope all of you will feel inspired to donate, and as President Ces says, enjoy the gift of giving. And know that no donation is too small. The minimum amount of $25 can make a really big difference. And again, your donation will come back to our club to go toward meaningful projects like the one that Peter Sherris will share with us now. Peter?
Thank you, Leanne. You're doing a really great job in your new position as a chair. So I'd like to talk a little bit about a project that we did in Ethiopia. One of the most important things about any project anywhere in the world is to know from the community what their true needs are. And this project discovered that in Ethiopia, there is a tradition of women getting together in the afternoon for coffee and talking about life and their husbands and their needs. And university students in this area in northern Ethiopia decided that that's where you could really find out what women needed. And after many visits, it became clear that the women wanted to be able to control their family sizes without their husbands knowing, without using barrier methods, without using pills, without using surgery. And so, Leanne, if you could bring up that first slide. And they also have a tradition in Ethiopia of having community health workers who are very minimally trained people who can provide a great deal of health advice. Could you bring up the next slide, please, Leanne? And so these community health workers were available to be trained how to provide injectable contraceptives in the private setting at these coffee meetings, no visits to the doctor, and that these injectable contraceptives would last for about 3 months. And so we gathered these mostly women together, and the picture, which I still don't see showing, there is one man who is down in the bottom right-hand corner. But the next picture shows how we gathered the women together and trained them. They got to talk about their ideas. That would be the third slide, number 6, which is still not showing. But they got to talk about what they were doing. And here are the community health workers. Oops, too far. Go back. There we go. So here is a woman from a very small rural area of Ethiopia who is explaining to the rest of the people there what her needs were and how she wanted to be trained. The next slide. And so they got together and they practiced on each other. You'll notice there's a big smile on this woman's face as she's got a big needle to stick into her colleague. And finally, they all went out into the community, and this was one of Rotary Foundation's most successful projects because they ended up providing thousands of women their needs for controlling their family size. Next slide. This was all done in conjunction with the Ethiopian Addis Ababa Club. And I had the great pleasure of meeting their president, exchanging flags. That would be the next slide. And also having lunch with them and having a relationship. And that's one of the joys of a Rotary Global Grant project, is not only doing great work, but having great relations with other clubs and other individuals. So I strongly urge everybody to support Rotary Foundation by donating whatever you can, and to meet Ces's challenge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter, for reminding us how donations to the Rotary Foundation change lives and change the world. A Paul Harris Fellow recognition is earned for each $1,000 donated. Major donor at $10,000 and major donor level 2 at $25,000. Peter has recently earned Paul Harris Fellow Major Donor Level 2. Ces, would you please make this honorable presentation?
Well, I'm not in person, so I can't give you I guess you got it pinned on you. Do you have it pinned?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I have received it. Thank you very much. It's an honor to have this pin, and again, I am so committed to Rotary Foundation that I love doing these projects, doing them with money that I provide, and doing them on site with local folks that know and understand the needs of the community. It is an absolute honor to be able to do this through Rotary Foundation.
very
Thank
good.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Peter, for all you do. And if it's possible, could we show the thermometer slide? So on our campaign to get to 100% participation, we're about a third the way there to meeting Ces's generous challenge. That means we still have a number of members to join in, to donate or pledge by December 31st, members that we will be calling next month. But that also means we have around 100 members that have already donated. There must be a reason. Peter, would you mind sharing why you donate?
Sure, I donate because it is the perfect way to give money to an organization that is tax deductible, and then actually get the money back to our club to actually perform projects like the one we did in Ethiopia, which had a huge impact on thousands of women and thousands of families. And so that's why I give to the Rotary Foundation.
Celeste Gordon, why did you join in the challenge?
Well, I joined the challenge. A lot of it had to do with the sustainability of the projects, that we're not just going in and doing something for short term, but we're really building and working with local communities to do that. And some of those projects even gain recognition and become independent through the work that we do from the beginning. And also because of that, it's a great investment. So what we give comes back, and it's a way for us to combine our resources with other clubs. These things have already been stated, but that's why I give.
Thank you, Celeste. Howard Lowe from Hawaii, why are you donating this year?
I'm donating because Rotary saves lives, plain and simple. In a world where we're having people isolate into their own silos and separate at a time where we need more than we've ever needed before, Rotary helps sustain communities. I give because in Oakland, I've seen the impact as a young kid, what happens when Rotary participates in this community. It is imperative that we do not go away at a time that the time that Oakland needs us more. So that's why I give.
Mahalo, Harold. Thank you. Ruth Strupp, why the Rotary Foundation?
Well, you know, Joe, I started as a naysayer to the foundation because I really wanted to give my money locally. But by talking with Rotarians, you know, and learning that the money does have a ricochet effect and comes back, as well as the thought that, you know, if my brother is not well, I can't be well. That we are as strong as those most vulnerable in our community. And COVID has really taught us that our community is not our neighborhood, it's the world. We're a very mobile society. And so what's, you know, the good for the many, helping the good for the many comes back to being the good here locally as well.
Thank you, Ruth. Well, I think you know I'm all in for the Rotary Foundation. From my very first contribution of $50 over 30 years ago when just starting out, because the San Ramon Rotary Club wanted to be 100%. Even more so now, though, having seen Crippled children and adults receive their first wheelchair. Polio crawlers receive surgery so they can stand. Attend toilet block ribbon cutting ceremonies. Help give polio drops to infants. Maybe COVID vaccines will follow. Delivering hygiene kits to the homeless. The Rotary Foundation is your opportunity to do good. If you haven't already, join us. Donate or pledge by December 31st. You can pay after 12/31. No amount is too small. $25 can make a big difference. Let's thank Ces for his awesome year as president and for his generous challenge, and be 100% participation by the end of December. Trust me, like magic, you will be the one that benefits the most. Real happiness is helping others. Be happy, pledge, donate. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much for that inspiring presentation for why we should give to the Rotary Foundation. And if I'll just remind everybody, I said it before, but I'm itching to give my $50,000 to the Rotary Foundation. So please, everybody, 100% donation. Participation that we want to have. No amount is too small. $25 goes a long way, and we really will make a difference. Now, Rotarian Steve Nicholls, will you do us the honor of introducing this week's Civic Thursday speaker? Because we're going to have a little bit of fun now, I think, with the magic show.
Thank you, President Ces, and welcome, fellow Rotarians. Dennis Kyriakos is very, very well known locally and nationally for, dare I say it, his spellbinding performances. He actually appeared at our club a few years back, but in true magical manner, he disappeared for a while. But we've conjured him up again. Now, Dennis is the real deal, and those people who've seen him will agree. Have no illusions about this guy. He's real. For those of us who question reality, Dennis can help. I know that deceptive practices are not really part of the Rotary values, but Dennis is here to show us some of those. In fact, he'll probably challenge one of our four-way test questions. Is it the truth? Now, the trick today is, will Zoom work for us? So just like magic, here's Dennis.
Well, thank you, Steve. Wow, that was very nice. Thank you. I told him to just say whatever he wanted, actually, and that was, thank you very much. Nice to be back here at the Oakland Rotary. As Steve mentioned, I was here, I think, a couple of years ago, live for you all, and I had a great time. And I'm here to share a little bit of mystery and wonder and a little bit of fun. And then we'll talk a little bit about Zoom and making Zoom magic. Okay, so we're going to jump right in because I know I want to be respectful of everyone's time, and I want to make sure that we get everything done here. So normally, you know, it's just kind of an odd way to experience magic right now, isn't it? Or anything, yes? So to make this work, normally I would be in an audience with you and you would see something you'd like, I'd do something amazing, hopefully, and you give me a round of applause. That doesn't often work here. So in lieu of that, if you do see something that you enjoy, just kind of, yeah, wave your hands in the air like that and fill the screen with lots of energy, and I'll be able to pick that up and give you back some energy as well. You guys are all professionals on this already. I can see you have your microphones on mute. That's perfect. So let's jump in and have a little bit of fun with a little bit of magic. And one of my favorite pieces of magic sitting back here on the shelf. This is one of my favorites. It is one of the oldest tricks in magic, so old it needs a magic wand to make it work. This trick dates back to my ancestors, the ancient Greeks. It is known as the mystery of the cups. Now, there's a few things you need to know about the cups before we begin. First things first, the inside of the cup measures about an inch deeper than the outside. You got that? It's about an inch deeper on the inside than it is on the outside. Doesn't make any sense at all, does it? No. Oh, thank you. Already. Wow, this is going to be easy. Okay, good. Also, the bottom of the cup, take a look at this. The bottom of the cup is a little bit softer than the other parts. You can actually push things right through the bottom of the cup. It goes right through the bottom. More on that in a moment. More on that in a moment. And also, I need to show you this. This one right here, the one in the middle, I'll show you, they are all empty. The cup in the middle is a little bit smaller than the other cups, okay? You can't tell by looking at it, but you can take the small one and pass it through the other cups. It goes right through just like that. Ta-da! I say, ta-da, ta-da. It gets better, people. Oh, that's very nice, thank you. It gets better though, it gets better. Don't go anywhere, don't go anywhere. To make this little miracle work, and it is a minor miracle, you need 3 little baseballs, yeah? They sit on top of the cups. Observe. Ball number 1, just a wave over the top like that, and it disappears. Ball number 2, just a wave, vanished. And ball number 3, yeah, now ball number 3 is the most difficult of all the balls because now you're watching so close. Very, very difficult to do the last one. Quit staring, you're making me very nervous. Watch close, you just wave over the top like that. It just melts away, completely gone. Thank you very much. Now they don't go very far. Hang on, they don't go very far to find them. You just need to look underneath the cups. That's number 1, that's number 2, and that's number 3. And that is an applause cue, ladies and gentlemen. That right there is your first applause. Oh, you guys are great. You're doing great. Mwah! You're doing wonderful, wonderful. Oh, well, let's move on, shall we? I'm going to put 1 ball underneath each cup, and I'm going to do this with any cup that you like, okay? Any cup that you like. Cup number 1, cup number 2, or number 3. Completely up to you, okay? Number 1, number 2, or cup number 3. Which one would you prefer? Ah, cup number 3. That's perfect, just like we rehearsed. I won't even touch the ball. Steve is loving this. I love seeing Steve's smiling face. He's loving this. I won't even touch the ball with my hands. Watch close. I'm just going to touch the ball with the wand under the cup. Watch close. And it travels to underneath the 3rd cup. There now should be 2. There's 2. It's really gone, people. It's really gone. Some people think I cheat. I'll do that again for you, even though nobody asked. I'll do it again for you very slowly. It's going to jump from the center and it's going to end up over here. Just a touch like that. And it's really there. It's really gone. It's really gone. Now, you remember I said earlier that the bottom of the cup was a little bit, thank you very much. Oh, look, you guys are all applauding. I love it. I love it. You remember I said the bottom of the cup is a little bit smaller than the other parts? Remember that? Okay, watch close. 2 balls underneath. 1 ball sits on top. Let me do that so you can see. 1 on top, 2 underneath, just a touch with the wand like that, and the ball passes through the cup to join his friends. Hang on a second here, hang on. Am I moving too fast for you all? I'm moving too quickly, I can tell, I can see the glazed look on the lens. There's a glazed look on the lens there. I'll do this for you very slowly, very slowly. I'll cover each ball with a cup, very slowly, very fairly. No funny moves, nothing sneaky with my fingers or anything. And you all look so suspicious. You all look so, no, really, people, look, I'm being completely honest. It's really under the cup, okay, people? It's really under the cup. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this very easy for you to follow. I'm going to take this ball. I'm going to put it away in my pocket, okay? I'll put it away in my pocket. I'm going to put this one in my pocket as well, leaving me only 1 ball. Does anybody remember where it is? Where's the last one? Underneath the center cup, in case you weren't paying attention, under the center cup. Now look, all you do is touch the cup with the wand, just like that, and take a look at this. The ball comes back. Did you get that? You just touch it with the wand, just like that, and the ball comes back. Now you only touch the cup once. If you touch it more than once, well, then all 3 balls come back, and then you got to start from the beginning. So that's what I'm going to do. Thank you. Oh, he's so kind. Look at you all. A round of applause from you all, but wait, it gets better. There's more, there's more. I'll take all 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll put all 3 of them away. And I just touch the cup in the middle with the wand, just like that. Would you be amazed right now if all 3 balls appeared underneath that cup? Would you be amazed? I would be amazed as well, but it's impossible. You know why? Well, because there's a lime under that one now. That's a real line, by the way, people. That's a real line. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now here's the, I know you didn't see that coming, right? You didn't see that coming, but wait, like I said, it gets better. It gets better. Here's the amazing part. This is the part you're going to be thinking about for the rest of the meeting. For the rest of your lives, you're going to be thinking about this part right here. Take a look at that. There's a line under there. There's a line under there. And there's another one under there. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the mystery of the cups. I thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Look at you. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. I love seeing applause. Hearing it right now is a different story, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me just set my props here as well. And I'm going to show you one of another one of my favorites, actually, and this is actually quite simple and I think quite beautiful. It uses a single piece of paper and nothing else. Okay, a single piece of paper, nothing else. And I like this because, like I said, it's simple and I think it has a beautiful metaphor, as you'll see in a moment. Okay, so watch close here. And hopefully you're all following this so far, yes? Nothing here? Nothing here? Watch. Now, I think that is one of the prettiest things that I've ever seen. And I don't know about you, but I choose to focus on what brings us together. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone together. Let's have a clap.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I want to share one more piece with you that I hope you will enjoy, and it's a card trick. I'm going to need actually someone very, very briefly to help me out, and I'm just looking on the first screen that I have here, and Celeste. Celeste, can you do me a favor if you would, Celeste, and turn your microphone on if you would? Okay, fantastic. So Celeste, this is a regular pack of playing cards, okay? In fact, I will shuffle them up here in front of you so you can all see. And Celeste, I'm gonna ask you to just tell me what card you would like me to use for this trick, but it has to be a card with a number on it. You'll understand why in a moment. So no picture cards, just tell us a card with a number on it. Which one would you like me to use?
12 of hearts.
The 12, there's no 12.
Oh, 10 of hearts, sorry.
Which
that
one?
Was magical though. 12 of hearts is good. I like it.
That you'd be surprised. Some
shows you how much I play cards.
Anyway, so tell me a number card, please.
Any number?
Any number, yes.
5.
5. And which one would you like? The 5 of clubs, heart,
spade.
Which one?
Spade.
5 of spades. Okay, here it is right here. I was hoping I'd have a 5 of spades in the deck. So 5 of spades, that is the card that Celeste wants. Thank you very much, Celeste. And I'm going to mark this card up, and I'm going to write on it Oakland Rotary on it. And today's date, today's the 19th. Did I get that right? I hope I got that right. And I will show this to everyone that it does in fact say Oakland Rotary on it with today's date. Today's the 19th, right? I got that right? Okay, good, I'm in the right place. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen here. Something very special is gonna happen here. Your card, Celeste, your card goes in the pack about halfway down, hang on. Make sure the ink is dry on that. Goes about halfway down, just like that. And all I do is snap. When you snap like that, something special happens to the card on top. Celeste, does that look familiar? Your card on the top? Did I go too fast? I can tell I went too quickly. I went too quick. I'll do it again for you all very, very slowly so you can see very slowly. I'll take Celeste's card. It's going to go in the middle of the pack, right? Well, not exactly. It might be a little closer to the bottom. Yes. Goes in like that. I do nothing. I just snap like that. When you snap, something special happens to the card on top right there. That is Celeste's card with Oakland. I know. You know what I'm going to do, people? I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to keep doing it until everybody likes it. okay? And I mean everybody. In fact, I'm gonna stand up for this so I can get really, really close to the camera here so you can see that is indeed the card that Celeste wanted. It says Oakland Rotary on it. I'll give you one last look at it. There it is right there. I'm gonna put that card about halfway down in here like this, okay? So you can see clearly, it's about halfway down in the middle there. Push it all the way in, and it's gonna go halfway in the middle of these cards. So it really is in the middle of the pack. And all I do is snap like that. And believe it or not, something special happens to the card on top. Celeste's, whoops, hang on, let me try that again. Oh, hang on, sorry. Just snap like that, something special happens to the card. I'm not sure exactly what, hang on a second. I'm not sure exactly, hang on, let me just see if I can figure this out. I'm up to the, oh, for crying out loud. Okay, there's the problem right there. It's stuck to my face, it's stuck to my face. Now let me explain, I'll explain. Not really. There's a reason why the card comes up to the top of the deck over and over and over again. It's just an illusion. You ever been to Las Vegas? You've been to Las Vegas, I'm sure you have. You see, the card doesn't really, it's like an illusion in Las Vegas. The card doesn't really go in the middle and it doesn't really come up to the top. So I know, Celeste, what the heck is that even supposed to mean? That doesn't explain a thing. Celeste, do you remember what your card was? Celeste, what was your card?
5 of spades.
5 of spades, and we wrote Oakland Rotary on it, right? Now
Yes,
look,
we did.
middle of the deck, in the middle of the pack. I don't have my, whoops, I don't have my fingers stuck in there. I don't have my fingers stuck in there. It's really one of those cards in the middle. Now, here's the strange part. This is the part you're going to be thinking about for the rest of the night. For the rest of your lives, you're going to be thinking about this, okay? Here's the thing. Earlier today, while I was listening to the meeting, I took one card out of the deck and I put it inside my wallet, okay? No, really, I took one card, nothing in my hands. I put one card inside, I folded it up actually, really small, and I put it inside my wallet. Now that card happens to be a, let me show you that. It happens to be a 5 of spades. Can you see that? But it's not any Celeste. Believe it, hang on, I'm gonna do anything funny here. I'm just gonna do that right there. Nothing funny, one card in the middle of the pack, and it's exactly Celeste's card with Oakland Rotary on it earlier. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, you're so kind. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Look at that, right on time, nailed it. 14 minutes and 13 seconds, perfect. All right, well, I hope that you enjoyed that. And part of the program today, I convinced Steve to let me come in and and speak to you all a little bit about how not how I do this, but kind of how I do this. Steve mentioned I've been performing magics professionally for about 25 years now. I started in New York City, is where I'm from. I moved out here about 7 or 8 years ago. And I do a lot of corporate events, a lot of trade shows, and part of the my task at a trade show is to draw people off the aisle and bring them into the booth and talk about the product through magic, through using magic. And a big part of performing as a magician, I also worked for a long time as an actor in New York. Part of that is you learn the skills to present and perform, okay? So I wanna share a little bit of that with you right now. It's really easy to discover on Zoom, use their support pages and figure out what buttons to push to make it work. But this is the kind of stuff I think that you won't find on a Zoom support page. So hopefully I can get this work. There we go. And let's give this a shot and see what happens. So I'm going to do this and hopefully, can you see the presentation right there? Making Zoom magic, fantastic. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here. We're gonna do this really quick. I'm gonna run through this very, very quickly because we've only got about 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes here. I go out on a limb here and hopefully I don't offend anyone with this first one, but this is coming out of love and to make sure that you, if you're working and doing Zoom meetings or any kind of virtual meeting for clients, I'm going to recommend that you ditch the virtual background. Hear me out here on a second, okay? I know it works really well. Jason is shaking his hands there. He's like, is that no? Is that no? Hear me out here for a second. And it actually, the virtual background, I'm looking at it here in the Rotary, and it actually looks really good because you have the Rotary logo on it. It's everyone has a white background, and I like that. However, part of working with a virtual background, you need to know how to get the lighting and the tech right. Otherwise, you can bump into problems. Suddenly, your part of your shirt turns into the background, or your ears disappear as you kind of move across the background. And that can be a little distracting, yes? Another thing is, no one believes you're at the beach. Let's think about this for a second, right? I've been on a lot of Zoom calls, and people have the beach background, and if you're using that in a meeting with a client, that can be a little unprofessional if you think about it. I think it's okay. Well, Harold's at the beach. Holy cow, Harold. Gosh, what are you doing here? You should just go jump in the water, Harold. Just go jump in the water. Very nice. Now I'm distracted. Where was I? Oh, yes. If you're doing a Zoom, like a virtual meeting, and it's like a family get together, okay? Maybe it's grandma's 80th birthday, or maybe you're doing a virtual happy hour with your colleagues, and it's just to have some fun, then great. Knock yourself out with the virtual backgrounds and put the emojis and the mustaches and have some fun. But if you're dealing with a client, a prospective client, or even a client that you have, if you're dealing perhaps an important meeting with your CEO or something like that, you want to try to keep things professional. So that's my opinion, and we're going to talk a little bit about that right now. What do you do with the background, right? Well, you got to take a look at what is available. And everyone's situation is different right now, right? Some people may be able to get into the office and do a meeting. Some people may need to work home. I'm working from home right now, and I'm lucky enough that I'm able to have a space to myself. The space that I have here is my home office. My wife has another office next door that she's been always working from home with the work that she does. So I converted a portion of my home office into a studio, because I'm not just doing virtual meetings, I'm giving performances, as you saw. So I need to control the environment as best I can. You have to think of this space right here as a movie set or a television screen. When you watch a movie or go to the theater, remember when we used to go to theater? I remember that very fondly. When we watch a movie and we go to the theater, the director and the set designer and the people working on that, they craft this space. If they know their job, it's crafted really, really well. All the information that you have in here is thought about and is supposed to be there to move the plot along, to move the story along, tell something about the character or whatever. So for example, as I came onto the screen, I'm sure that many of you, now I'm a family man, because there's pictures of my family up there. I thought about that. That's not an accident. I thought about that very clearly, and I thought about everything here. But the great thing is that this can always change. Okay, so think about it as a movie set and create a space that is you. Like I was saying, pictures of my family. I don't know if you noticed this, but in this close-up shot that I had, I'm very much into martial arts. I've been practicing Aikido for many, many years, and down right there is a book on Aikido. And I put that there because it's important to me. And I share that with you. So that gives people something to think about. Maybe you've got, I don't know, a set of G.I. Joe collectible dolls that you're, proud about. Stick a couple of those on there if it's appropriate. Awards that you may have received and trophies or something. Put that in the background to create a sense of that you're an expert at something, if you know what I mean. Okay, so create a space that is you. Next up, lights. Lights, that's important. You need to be able to see what you're doing and see things very clearly, obviously. Now, the most obvious thing, I have a large window here with a sheer curtain that works kind of as a diffuser. So a natural lighting is obviously the best. I have a friend who's a professional photographer, and he's always chasing after the natural light. We got to get the shot before the light goes. The issue with natural lighting is that it's inconsistent. Right now it's it's 1 o'clock right now. Come 4 or 5 o'clock, it's going to be very different here in my studio because the sun is in a different place, and you can't control natural lighting. That's obviously an issue. So what do? you may, if needed, you may need to go to studio lighting, okay? And what do I mean by that? So I'll give you a couple of examples very quickly. A softbox light. A softbox light is a light on a tripod, as you can see, is a receptacle on there. Inside, it's a reflective surface in the receptacle on the sides and in the back. And there's a sheared diffuser on the front, and it gives off a very delicate, soft light. That's what I use as my main light here for the show. I do not use the overhead light that is here in my office. I use the softbox light to throw some light on me, like a key light. Another option is an umbrella light. It's exactly what it sounds like. Tripod with a reflective umbrella on it. Light bounces off of the umbrella and fills the room. Now, both of those lights, the texture of the light can be different qualities to it. You'll have to do some research to see if either of those are usable for you. I'm going to send you this PDF, and there'll be more information in there about both of these options and a few other things if you care for it. The third option, which has become very popular now, and a lot of you may know about it, is a ring light. And again, a ring light, exactly what you think it is, right? A set of LED lights in a ring. I believe it comes from like makeup mirrors. Round makeup mirrors used to have, they have a light around it, and it gives a very close, it offers a light for a close-up shot for makeup and for close-up photography and things. I have one of those as well, right behind my camera, and that's my main light to brighten my face without any harsh shadows on it. So for like a virtual meeting, a ring light may be the right thing for you, something to consider, okay? Next, camera. You're gonna need a camera to make this all work, right? So believe it or not, your smartphone, if you have a late model smartphone the last 4 or 5 years, you'd be surprised at what a great camera are on these. And in a pinch, a cell phone camera is fantastic. It really, really is. The issue with a cell phone camera is you want to put it on a tripod or on some kind of mount it somewhere, because you don't want to hold it there and do this. You're going to be shaking in the picture, very distracting, and depending on who you're talking to, it can be quite unprofessional. Okay. Obviously, most of us are probably on a laptop or a webcam accessory plugged into a laptop. That's what I'm using right now for this shot. This is my laptop. And then I have a second shot that I use is an iPad for the close-up performing I was doing. So a laptop obviously works very, very well. Now, an important thing about your lens and the camera you're using is the lens height. A lot of people don't think about this. Worst place you can put if you're using a laptop, worst place you can put it is setting the laptop on the table and shooting with your lens below you and up that way. That's a very unflattering image, very unflattering picture. Sorry, Jason. Sorry about that, but it's the truth. I appreciate that. You appreciate that. It's an unflattering angle for any human being, not just you, Jason. Don't take that personally. So what do? You need to get the lens up at eye level. And that's what I've done with this camera. For that, you use, believe it or not, a laptop stand. And it looks something like that. This is an inexpensive stand that I found. It's the exact one that I use. And I have it set on a couple of reams of printer paper on my table, a little behind the scenes there, okay? Don't tell anybody. And that brings the lens exactly at eye level. Because think about it, if you were in a real meeting with someone and sitting at a conference table or speaking with someone, you'd be standing basically eye to eye, and you have this, never be looking down on them, okay? So that's a very important thing a lot of people don't think about or don't consider, okay? And finally, action. You see what I did there? Lights, camera, and now, of course, there's action. And this is again, something that Zoom won't tell you about. This is about connecting and engaging with your audience. And this is big. If you're in any kind of virtual meeting, this is really what it's all about, is making this connection. How do you create engagement with your audience? Okay, it's one thing if you're in the room with them, you can reach out and you can have a laugh and connect with them in that way. But how do you do that here? Well, first of all, you start by obviously getting ready the same way that you would get ready for any meeting. Take a shower, get dressed, do your hair, brush your teeth. Did I brush my teeth? I did. I brushed my teeth before I came here. And for goodness sake, put on some pants. Jason, make sure you're wearing pants when you're at these meetings, please. You got, okay, good, okay. Oh, he's gonna show us. Okay, great, good. I'm half joking about that, but consider that now. If you're going out, like I said, to meet someone in person, or you're coming into a virtual meeting for a professional meeting that you might be having with someone, you want to make sure that you're following the same regimen so that by the time you're at that meeting, you are set, you're ready to go, and you're confident, and you're able to express that. And finally, the big thing, this is, hang on, this is the real secret. I don't want this to get out. Well, I do want this to get out. This is the real secret here to create engagement. Everything else that I mentioned, the backgrounds, the lighting, you're going to have to, think about your background. It might take some time to consider it. Same thing with the lighting. But what I'm about to share with you is something you can do right now. At your very next virtual meeting that you have, you can begin to practice this and begin to create engagement. And that is engage the camera. Think about this. I am looking directly at you right now. Right? How does that feel to you? Are you engaged with me? Does it feel like I am engaged with you right now? I hope it does, and notice also, and I just noticed this myself, that I lowered the tone of my voice because this is really important information that I want to get across to you. Again, it's the same thing that you would do, I think, if you were in a real meeting with someone. You would, well, not so close, Gary. Back up, 6 feet, Gary, 6 feet. Okay, Gary, 6 feet. I appreciate that, though. So consider that, right? Consider what happens in this, right? If we are engaged in this for the entire Magic performance, most of it, I was here with you, I hope. Most of the time during the talk, unless I had to take a look at some buttons that I needed to move around, I may have looked down. However, if you're on a Zoom call with people and I'm watching myself talk, how does that feel now? If I'm seeing myself talk or I'm watching you on the screen, suddenly this distance comes between us, right? But if immediately I'm here and not just at the camera, but a few inches past in the camera, beyond the camera, that really reaches out and can grab your audience's attention and create more engagement. I happen to have a little green light on next to my camera, so I just watch that. If you don't have one of those, you can grab a Post-it note, write on it, look here with an arrow and stick it right next to your camera so you know exactly where to look on your laptop if you don't have a light there. And
okay.
I think that's about it. That's what I have right now. Oh, I want to say one more quick thing. Like I said, oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll let you guys give me a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Like I said earlier, I would love to share this PDF with you all. It's not just the bullet points. There's a little more information in there, as well as links to the lighting and some other resources that you might find useful. So if you go to my website, which is right there, virtualdeceptions.com, and send me an email. I'll also put that in the chat right now. If you send me an email at virtualdeceptions.com, I will return the email, deceptions.com. Hopefully I spelled that right. I will return that email with the PDF, and you can peruse it. And then if you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out. And also, if you have employees or a team that you feel could need some help, I'm more than happy to talk to you about that and coming in and helping them out. And that's, I believe, all.
Thank you, Dennis.
Very
That's
much.
wonderful. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody, with the shakes. Thank you, Dennis, for being our speaker today. This year, our club is making the homeless crisis in Oakland a priority. To that end, and as a gift to you for being our speaker for the day, in your honor, we are making a donation to support our unhoused residents in Oakland.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
Additionally, we would like to give you one of our centennial books, which documents 100 years of service and friendship in the third oldest club in the Rotary world. Thank you so much for that inspiring, magical presentation, and a little education too with the Zoom magic.
Oh, good. Thank you very much.
Now, Dudley Thompson, or maybe Carla, past president Carla Betts, is on to tell me about Cocktails with the President.
I don't know if Carla's here, but next Tuesday evening, 5:30 is Cocktails for the President. It'll be a Thanksgiving theme. We have some great questions, but the great thing about Cocktails with the President is Ces is there and you can ask him anything. It's a great social occasion. Come join us. It's Tuesday evening at 5:30.
Thank you. Rotarian Georgia Richardson, will you tell us about our speaker for next week?
Oh my goodness, wasn't prepared for that. Absolutely. We're going to have the honor of having Chef Nikki Shaw, the wife of Brian Shaw, be our guest speaker for December 3rd. We're excited to have her. She's excited be our speaker. And I'm sure that there's going to be lots of bell rings, lots of money collected, and a lot of good information that she'll share with us to help us with healthier eating.
Thank you. And thank you, Amani, for the thought for the day. Thank you, David, for announcing our Feed the Hungry program. Congratulations. No, thank you, Linda, for the lovely reintroduction of Marty. And thank you, Dudley, for reminding us about cocktails and with the president. And thank you, Steve, Joe and Leanne, for reminding us of the Rotary Foundation Month, the President's Challenge, and the gift of giving. Pat, do we have?
Ces, can we also thank, Ces, can we thank Jack McAvoy for making it to 100?
Making it to 100?
It's his
100
birthday.
years old?
I believe.
Oh, you're gonna make him disappear, I thought.
That's Dennis.
I'm gonna show you how to do that. Pat, before I wrap up, do we have any more bell rings? I think you have a special bell ring.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, President Ces. First of all, Dudley Thompson helped me recently. I and a group of friends were having a Zoom memorial service to celebrate a friend who recently passed. I asked Dudley if he'd help with the Zoom, and he did an awesome job. So I want to ring the bell for President-elect and Zoom wizard Dudley Thompson. On top of that, we had other bell ringers. Marie Savramuthu rang the bell for all the people who volunteered on the hygiene kit project. And then we had several bell ringers for Marty. We had CJ Hirschfeld, Peter Sheris, Stephanie Cosenza, Linda Chu, Linda Bosnecker, Joe Koralka, Robert Kidd, Lorna Padilla Marcus, Joycey Mack, Rick Draper, and Cal Stanley. Thank you.
Thank you. And I also saw a few of those in the chat box for the Rotary Foundation. So I trust, Leanne, you got all of those down, and we'll get back to them and push participation up there past 50% before this week gets out. And we're on our way to being at 100% before this is all over. So I'd like to end this meeting as usual, and that's the way it went at the 5,318th club meeting on November 19th, 2020 at Oakland Rotary number 3, the third oldest Rotary club in the world. Everybody remember, Rotary opens opportunities for service above self. And for now, where's my, this meeting of the Rotary Club of Oakland is adjourned. Thank you.